This is our look at day 3 of the Mathewson's July 2025 auction, where over the 3 days they've done 900 lots and just under 500 vehicles. Day 3 didn't have quite as many sort of cars I thought you'd be interested in as the previous 2 days, but there are some real gems out there. So let's take a look and see what I found. So first out of our box is lot 614, and this was a 1980 Ford Escort 1600 Sport. I always thought this was a pretty version of the Mark II Escort. This one's actually a South African import. It come to UK, but was currently unregistered on a Northern Ireland plate. It did have confirmation that the Nova had been paid, and that's not Vauxhall Nova. That is notice of vehicle arrival. So if there's any duties due on that, you need that certificate to show DVLA that it's all paid for and they can register it. They said the paint on this, it wasn't too bad, but there were quite a few patches that needed attention. That interior though, yes, those seats might be comfy, but and the personalised red dashboard, sorry, back to standard. It was showing 1,290 miles, so that could mean anything. But I thought that was quite a nice usable car. I thought sensibly guided 11 to 13. It only got to £9,000 and remained unsold. Lot 622 was, for me, yet another Golf Cabriolet. I seem to have seen loads of these Mark I Cabriolets over the last few days. This one was from 1990 and it was the Clipper Cabrio. Done 108k miles, it got MOT through to September this year. Power hood, and the hood looked in really good condition. And it had some parts with it. The thing for me is, I appreciate what VW were trying to do at this point was update the car, because the Mark II was well and truly out by this point. But those big bumpers, I don't know, to me it looks like a bit like when MG stuck those big black bumpers on the Midget and the GT. Anyway, my opinions aside, this one was guided at 4,500 to 6,500 and did sell fairly much in the middle of that for 5,150. Lot 626 is another Volkswagen Golf, but this is a Mark II. It's a GTI 8 valve from 1991. Now, compared to the Mark II, okay, it was a 16 valve that was in, I think, our day 1 review. This one was estimated, I think, a lot more sensibly. And the other thing with this one, it was a bit of a high mileage hero. It done 194,000 miles, but was MOT through to June 2026. It had a recent new wing put on it. It had some work on the sill. Only 2 previous owners, so that's quite a good indication. Said it did need, in their walk around video, a little bit of TLC here and there, but at that kind of miles, not surprised. It's got those BBS alloys. It just looked a tidy, usable car. Guided at 2,500 to 4,000. It actually sold through for 3,700. Now, if you're one of the people where the letters JDM get you all moist, this could be the car from you, or even for you. Lot 630, never seen one of these before. 2003 Toyota Caldina GT4. What a beast. 2-litre turbo engine, 264 brake horsepower, 4-wheel drive. It's only had 1 UK owner in the 5 years it's been here. It's got MOT through to February 2026. Done 137,000 miles. But what a beast. It's like, a Celica GT4 in a baby SUV body shell. I thought this would be great family fun, couldn't it? Estimate-wise, 4,500 to 6,500, which I thought was really reasonable. Only got to 3,300 and remained unsold. Now, lot 656 is quite probably the one I've used for the thumbnail. What a car. 1984 Vauxhall Astra GTE Mark I. This was glorious. It had total resto, glass out, the whole lot, full repaint, everything mechanical, whopping great list on it. Either it had been replaced or it had been completely refurbished. This was, by the looks of it, like a new car. In the walk round that Dave did on the car, he mentioned in the 25 years they've been trading in classic cars, they've only seen 3 or 4 of these, and he said this one is just outstanding. It was estimated, which I thought was pretty much on the money, £17,000 to £18,000, but after a real heavyweight, long slugged out auction, Jack was doing it, I believe, and I think he dropped the auction to £100 increments in the early 20s, but had to put it back up to 200 because the bidding sort of picked up again, and it went all the way up to £29,000. What a beauty Lot 664 is. I do like these cars. They have something of that late 60s, early 70s era for me. 1973 Rover P5 3.5 litre auto. Glorious looking car. It's showing 87,000 miles. It had been in storage since 1991, where it was pulled out about 3 years ago and given a full mechanical recommission. It's come from a private collection apparently. They said in the walk around video the carpets and maybe some of the interior wood trim could do with a bit of a refresh, but otherwise was a really nice looking car. Estimated, I thought, probably towards the top end of its value, £7,000 to £10,000. But I was a little bit wrong because it went all the way up to 9,750 and was sold. Now Lot 670's got an interesting element to it. 1981 Aston Mini Metro L, and these are the very early Metros, but it still had Mini on it. And this one's showing just 37,880 miles, and it had been restored in about 2022-23, and it just looked a really nice car. That subframes had been powder coated and stuff like that. It was a really nice, usable classic. An interesting element to this one, it had a Noel Edmonds connection, would you believe it? The original owner, called Vera, who the car is also nicknamed after, apparently had problems with the original engine of it, and Noel Edmonds at the time was the face of Austin Rover. So what did Vera do? She wrote to Noel Edmonds with her annoyance, and apparently Noel Edmonds did get involved and got her a new engine for this car. So there we go. Does Noel Edmonds add value to a car or take it away? One for you to discuss in the comments. Talking of value, it was estimated at 3,250 to 4,250 and did actually sell through for 3,800. Now Lot 738 is one of these again that isn't exactly what it looks like, but it is a very nice looking car. This is a 1980 Ford Sierra L, and as you can see it looks remarkably like a Ford Sierra Cosworth. But the Sierra Cosworth wasn't announced until late 85 and hit the roads in 86, so this one's a little bit early. Now the early Sierras, there was a 3-door option, which is the shell that Cosworth used to build these cars. So this is where this one has come from, hence the fact it's referenced as a Sierra L. But the engine size and all that is correctly registered now on DVLA. This one's showing 76,400 miles. It has never been had a electronic era MOT, so it's been off the road since 2006, but it's got complete Cosworth running gear. It's an absolute spot-on replica. The only thing I think I could see were missing were those wheel centers, which I imagine are quite hard to get hold of. It's a sort of tidy and usable version, I would say. Yes, it's not a perfect original Sierra Cosworth, but it was guided at 22,500 to 24,000, and it actually sold provisionally initially at 20,000, but that offer was accepted. So someone's got a cheap Sierra Cosworth. Now Lot 742 is another that's on my, I'd like to have had one of those. 1982 Lancia Beta Monte Carlo. This one obviously has had a little bit of a knock in the back, as we can see. There's a bit of rust around the arches, but in the walk around video they said it didn't look too bad. The seals look pretty good. It does crank over but wouldn't start. Mileage wise it shows 51,000 miles, but you know, who knows. There were a load of parts included, stuffed inside. Didn't look too bad a project. You know, nicknamed back in the day the baby Ferrari. Estimate wise, £2,000 to £4,000, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And yeah, it eventually sold for 3,500. Now this 1987 Ford Escort RS Turbo Series 2 in at Lot 796 looked to be a really tidy and usable car. Had done 114,000 miles. Got MOT through to May 2026, so again, tax, insure, and off you go. Apparently been driven up from Wales for the auction, so it wasn't a trailer queen. Current owners had it 7 years, apparently spent quite a lot of money with a specialist on the car, but in the walk round, just looked really tidy, nice, all the right bits, nothing hanging off with all that body kit around it. Thought it was brilliant. And to be fair, the bidders thought the same. £10,000 to £12,000 estimate, and it actually sold for 14,250. Now Lot 814, this is a rare old beast, isn't it? 1980 Vauxhall Chevette 2300 HS. Okay, it's not the HSR, but come on, when did you last see an HS? This one, it Saw I had a little bit of abandoned project about it, maybe. I got that sort of classic tartan interior that they had at the time. There were a load of spares inside, got the that front bumper was in there. Shows 43,000 on the clock, but yeah, who knows. It was scruffy, but it did look solid underneath. I think it was a very doable project. Yes, you're going to spend a few quid on it. And to be fair, someone spent a few quid on it at auction. Guided at 6.5 to 9.5, and I thought, yeah, that's probably about it. Went for 12,500 and was sold away. Now, I thought I'd add a little bit of class to the proceedings with lot 838. This glorious 1972 Aston Martin Vantage. Vantage? One of those. Now, the only thing I've got with this car, yes, it's an Aston Martin, it's great. I didn't like the colour. I just thought for that car, it may be because the pictures were taken inside, it just looked a bit insipid to me, but hey. It's been stored for about 2 or 3 years, shows 51,000 miles. As you can probably guess, wasn't warranted, but when you looked at it, yeah, could be right, could be right. Generally looked a very tidy car, got an 8-track player in it, so very period. There apparently were some pictures from when it was restored quite a few years back. Estimate-wise, didn't have one. It was submit best bid, which I always find a bit irritating. But the bidding got up to £60,000. Unfortunately, we don't know whether or not that turned into a sale. Bit of a warning for an unpopular opinion coming. Lot 870, 1985 Sierra XR4i, and I prefer these over the Cosworth. I just think they were more individual. I like that side window design, which apparently was inspired by the Porsche 928. Google it, it's true. This one's done 119,000 miles. Last MOT expired in 2012, so it's been off the road, what, 13 years. Does obviously require recommissioning. They like the wheels in the walk round video. Personally, I don't. Put the pepper pots back on it. That's how it came. That's how it should be. But overall, it looked pretty solid, and it's got that classic biplane spoiler on the back. Estimate-wise, £6,000 to £8,000. Didn't quite make that. Got to £5,500, but that was enough for the vendor, and that bid was accepted. If you're a regular viewer, that's probably because you're a subscriber, and if you're not, there's a good chance for you to whack that button. We always have Kit Car Corner, and today is no exception. However, this one, yeah, I've got a split opinion on this one. It is a really pretty car. Lot 882, it's a 2002 BMW, basically Z3 under that, Tribute DB4 Zagato. Now, yes, it's very beautiful, it's well presented, the paintwork's done nicely, etc, etc. I get that. It's got MOT through to April 2026, so it's another one that's ready to go. And there was an era of when these kit cars were particularly popular. You take effectively a standard model and put a body kit on it and make it look like something else. Lots of Ferrari replicas out there like that. My problem with this one is the interior. I've seen a lot of these cars done with Z3s with different style outer panels. You could have done a lot more with the interior to make it more period. If it looks just like you're sat in the Z3, and I've seen some of these done really well. But hey, right, I'm off my high horse. Estimate wise, £14,000 to £17,000. My personal opinion was I thought that was ambitious. However, I was wrong. It got to £16,600 and was sold. If that Aston Martin Vantage was a bit out of your price range, how about lot 888 instead? 1971 Jenson Interceptor. I don't see many in red, do you? I thought that was a bit unusual, that sort of strong red colour. Might have been a repaint, who knows? This one looked all round pretty tidy. Some areas of the paint needed a little bit of attention, but it definitely was, or didn't appear to be, a rotter. Showed 55,000 miles, but after 50 odd years, who knows? It did run well in the video. It had a nice registration plate as well. Interior all looked tidy and ready to go. Estimate wise, £14,000 to £19,000, which I thought was about on the money, and yeah, it sold through at £17,500. Now, lot 894 is not quite a request, but I was filming at SWVA yesterday, and someone I bumped into who watched the channel, thank you for doing that, mentioned they were after a Capri. Well, here's one. And they said they didn't want a 2.8 injection, and they made a fair point. You just don't see the lasers anymore. Everyone's after the big engine ones. But the lasers was like the run out of the 1.6 and 2 litre cars. And this one, 1600cc, 1985, so it's really right towards the end of production. This would probably have that god-awful VV carb on it if it's not been replaced, but it was a horrible piece of engineering, that. This one had a few paint imperfections. It was probably what, as they described it, a used and improved car. Dashboard was uncracked in the middle there, which is quite unusual for these. Did have the odd bit of corrosion shown there, maybe a little bit at the end of the sill, that kind of thing, but certainly nothing really that horrible. Estimate-wise, it was up to £5,000 to £7,000, which I thought was fair, but it only got to 4,400. That was taken as a provisional bid, but did turn into a sale. So that one is hammered away and with a new owner. I hope you really enjoyed that look through the cars from Mathewson as much as I've done. This one has taken quite a lot of work. Each of these, with the research, watching the videos, putting everything together, recording this bit, has taken probably about 6 to 8 hours for each video, which I know probably sounds incredible, but it's the facts. So please do everything you can to share this video and hit that like button and get us up the algorithm. And tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to have our latest SWVA video out from our filming at the back end of last week. So as ever, thank you for watching. First out of our box is lot 614, and this was a 90 what?